doing this now. Coming to you live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Monday for Monday meditation, Wednesday for Wednesday wellness, and then Friday is Feel Good Friday. So I have a couple of my friends today. We're going to talk about all about relationships during the quarantine. How are you all doing in your relationships? Are you married? You're single? You're dating? You got a quarantine boo? What's going on? Let's talk about that. So as you come in, love to hear from you. What's your name? Tell us your relationship status. How is it going? And that's what we're going to be talking about today. How are you ladies doing? Go ahead and just do a quick introduction of yourself. We'll go ahead and start with Misha.
Hello, everybody. My name is Misha Robertson. I am the Chief Executive Hope of I Am We Are, which is a youth empowerment organization that operates in South Africa. I am from the Washington, D.C. area and live here in D.C. today, and I'm happy to be with y'all.
And Misha has an amazing project coming up. I can't spill the tea. I can't tell you about it, but it's going to be so incredibly dope. So you definitely want to look out for that, and I'll be announcing it because I'm trying to get on, y'all. I'm trying to get on. Miss Jessica, introduce yourself.
Hey there, everyone. You guys know who I am. My name is Jessica. I go by Joss Speaks Digital. I am a digital media subject matter expert, and I help individuals and businesses get their digital life, right? Get digital. So social media, the whole digital media ecosystem, but y'all all know me. So let's get into the crowd.
I like, I don't know her. Who's she? Who that? And of course, I'm Avalaura, your host, your life coach, intuitive consultant, keynote speaker, bringing you quarantine healing every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday until I can't do it anymore, or until hopefully this coronavirus is over. Whichever one comes first, we'll see. So, today I thought it would be good. Last Feel Good Friday, we talked about Netflix, right? And that got a lot of people, right? Like people, we talked about Madam C.J. Walker and we talked about Tiger King, which everybody is talking about. So today I thought for Feel Good Friday, I really wanted to talk about relationships because some of y'all are really, really going through it in your relationships. They're really being tested right now. And there was an article in Bloomberg about China and what's happening to married couples during this quarantine crisis of being locked up together for a couple months and how actually the divorce rate is going up. So I thought that was really interesting. So, I'm here in my home, single, no kids. Thank you, God. And Jessica, on the other hand, I really wanted her to talk about her experience and how she's dealing with this and any tips and tricks, especially for you, mom, because she is married with 6 kids all in the house at the same time right now because nobody's in school. And then Misha here is also like me, not married, not single, where I'm dating. She's more, maybe I want to date, kinda, I don't know, but yeah, we'll figure this out. So, Jessica, I want to start with you. So, how are things going during this quarantine with your 6 kids and your hubby? How's the relationship going? Do you see it improving, getting worse, staying the same? How are things going?
Might want to unmute myself, right? It's going well. To tell you the truth, we have really created a real bond with each other being in quarantine. So it's really helped us a lot. I don't know, I guess. And right before the quarantine happened, we had a huge argument. So right when the quarantine happened, that kind of brought us back together because that epiphany of, wow, something could happen and, all that good stuff. So we've been doing great. Yeah. The kids are hanging out. The kids did a prank on my husband the other day. That was hilarious.
What did they do?
They put something on the TV to make it look like it was broken. And so they blamed it on the 6-year-old. So he walked in the room and they recorded it. So it was hilarious, his response. And oh my gosh. And so they put it, of course, on the 6-year-old because if it was anybody else, he probably would have went after them immediately. But with the 6-year-old, he had to. So he walks in the room and he watches the TV. And he's like, how y'all let that happen? And he's like, get out of here, go in the living room. And they all start cracking up laughing. And he's looking confused, like, why are y'all laughing?
Right, why is this funny?
And It was hilarious. And being in digital, right? I'm like, oh, they're after my heart. They're making YouTube videos. Yay.
Right. Make that money. Make that money.
Right. Somebody else put it up on YouTube. Let's make some money in this quarantine. Let's get paid. So anyway, no, it's been great. It's been actually very bonding. We've created a bigger bond now between all of us.
And that's so funny that you said that, because remember last week I was like, what would we do without internet? You know what I mean? Like, what would we do without Netflix? I think we would all die right now. So,
apparently this is the whole thing. This is the whole thing on like TikTok or YouTube or something where they're dads and breaking TVs, and one dad grabbed the belt that they showed me, and they were like, it was a joke, it was a prank.
Oh my God.
I was like, oh my God. So anyway, apparently this is the whole thing that they.
Wow, I didn't see. I'm out the loop. I don't know what's going on with I don't know. Are they Generation Z? They're not even millennials. They're like Z's and millennials. I don't know. I'm out the loop.
Whatever the next thing is, yes, they're that.
Wow. For those of you watching again, we'd love to hear from you. Tell us your name, where you're coming in from, your relationship status. Don't be shy. Come in the chat and talk to us. So Misha, tell us, how are things going with you? I know right now you're super busy, but how have things been? Quarantine, single, no kids. How's that going?
I guess I got peace, if nothing else, from looking at all my friends on Facebook that are like, oh my God, homeschooling is driving me crazy. I mean, I definitely, like, the first couple of days had this moment of like, oh my gosh, I'm by myself in my house. Why am I not married? Oh, woe is me. And like every insecurity in the world came out, and I had to hug my little inner child, like, out of it. And I took a walk too, based on your advice. And I felt
I was like, Misha, get out the house.
I felt so much better just walking and outside and seeing people, and I was good. And I don't know, I've been working, so I haven't watched Netflix at all. I've turned on my TV maybe once this whole time. I've been working and then just really been on the phone with people, talking. And so that's been my experience. So in some regards, I'm probably more connected now than I was, before the quarantine. And so I don't know, I'm actually thankful to I'm thankful for my life being what it is. And I really sit in and hold that my life is what it's supposed to be. And so all of that shouldas and wouldas and couldas, I threw away after day 2. And I'm looking to try to utilize this experience so that when I do leave my house and I'm out, I'm not going back the same. So I am committing to myself, okay, yes, I need to date more. So that way, at least even there's somebody to talk to on the phone. And I need to make time for that. So there are some, there's some reflection on new habits I can form, but I'm good. I'm enjoying my peace.
And I would love for you to talk about, because one of the things that I think we all have in common is that we're all extroverts. And so while Jessica is an extrovert, she got human interaction, right? Because she has a family. Misha and I are both extroverts, and we're home alone. Which is very interesting, which I actually don't have a problem being home alone. I work from home normally anyway, so not a big deal. But it's being home alone and having no social life and not being able to date for me was like, whoa, what's really going on? This is crazy. Every day is starting to run together. I feel like it's Groundhog's Day. Like, is this Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday? I don't know what day it is anymore, because every day is looking the same. But one of the things Misha did that I love, that I actually, did as talked about as one of my recommendations, is had a virtual singles happy hour. So Misha, can you talk a little bit about that?
But yeah, can I say one thing just to what you said? I think I was a Peace Corps volunteer. So I've spent a lot of time by myself, like, and I think if nothing else, I think this is a great moment and opportunity for us to sit with ourselves. We use all of that busyness in our lives as a coping mechanism. I think this is the article that you were talking about. You got these issues at home. You're at the bar. You're out running around, doing whatever. You have these issues with yourself. You feel some insecurities about being single. So you're over here hyper dating. And so I think this is a good moment also for people just to be real with themselves and embrace the silence. And somebody told me the other day, what you don't have is also what you aren't giving. And so for me, when I said in the realization that I have a huge community all over the world, and if I picked up the phone and said hi or responded to text messages, I wouldn't be by myself, then everything was fine. So it really is about your perspective. And I think to the event, create what you want. So I was like, I don't have anybody that I'm dating right now. So let's see how we can make that happen. So I literally with a friend, we were like, all right, we're going to take this experience of what a happy hour is, take this experience of speed dating and all these other things that are similar, and we're going to make it a virtual experience. And if nothing else, we brought an opportunity to other people and maybe make a little money on the side. But then in addition to that, it gave us an opportunity to meet new people too. And so because I got back in my work, which is my problem, is I work too much and I'm too busy.
And we've talked about that.
Yeah, so I don't prioritize, but I mean, it gave the first conversation was awesome. Like it brought me so much joy. We only had one man, but I mean, I had a great conversation with a lot of different women. Which, hey, but it got me out of the funk I could have been like, oh my gosh, I'm single, blah blah blah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Hey, Ange, welcome. Thank you for chiming in. It's good to see you. It's good to see you. So if you're here, tell us your name, say hello, let us know your relationship status. How are you relationshiping during this quarantine? How are things going for you? But yeah, I was talking about that event because it was so good, because people are having a lot of, dinner parties, they are doing virtual happy hours and things like that, but it was really good to see like this virtual singles happy hour, which is really cool. And like you said, it was only one man, but it was really cool in the sense that even though I pretty much knew all of the women, well, not all, but I knew a few of you on there. We got to know each other in a different way. And that's one of the beautiful things about this quarantine it is, and both of you talked about that. It has been like a really great bonding experience, and getting to know people in different ways and having to get really creative in how we navigate our relationships, right? Was really interesting because I talked about the fact that, is this really started around my birthday. So my birthday was like canceled. Y'all know Misha was coming. I was having a tea party. I was going to see Mos Def. I was going to go see Robert Glasper. Like I had everything lined up and everything got canceled. But what happened was, I'm normally out during my birthday. So when my family calls me, I don't even get a chance to talk to them because I'm out and about. Well, this time I got to talk to them. I talked to my brother for over an hour. I talked to my sister and my niece for over an hour. My niece sang to me, and she made this card with I don't know who this chick was, but I guess it was supposed to be me with yellow hair. I don't know where that came from, but it was really cute. And it said, "Happy birthday, Avalaura," and it was just beautiful because I was like, wow, I don't really have these moments all the time because I'm out and about. And so it did force me, and it has forced me to reach back out to my friends and talk to people and connect to people on a really different level, because we can't see each other. We can't hang out. And so there's sort of not that distraction of where we going to go, what brunch we going to go to, what restaurant we going to go to, what activity are we going to do. It's like, no, we just going to get on the phone and talk. And that has been beautiful. And so, Misha, to your point, I love the happy hour because, the questions were things like, if this was like Survivor and you were on an island, like what skill or what, like what would you bring to this island, that we would want to keep you. And so there were things that made us think and kind of delve into our personalities more, into who we are. So I did actually get to know people in a different way. Jessica, I see you shaking your head.
Yeah, I was agreeing with you, even though I didn't attend. I did attend a virtual networking for business owners, and it was kind of that same thing where they asked questions, like a question would pop out, and then we'd have to ask each other, and then we'd go into different rooms and ask each other questions on this platform. And it was interesting. I'd actually connected with someone who's in New York, and I'm in California. Mm-hmm. So he's in Brooklyn, and he was just kind of telling me what was happening out there. And so it was kind of getting that real-time news of what was happening, but then also connecting with someone that I never connected with. Don't know who this person is. Actually can't remember his name, but anyway. But he kind of told me what was going on, and I told him what was going on here in California. So it was kind of a way of seeing how things were happening out there, but connecting. I would have never connected with him if if this wasn't a thing, right?
Yeah.
And to your point earlier, we talked a little bit about how things usually were so busy, right? We were, where are we going? What are we doing? All that good stuff, right? Where we were only texting or sometimes not even a text, right?
Yeah.
Like just no communication at all. This is now
Yep.
forced us to communicate, and it's forced
Yep.
us to build deeper relationships. So I think that's what's happening in my home and what's happening outside the home, kind of virtually, right? That we're venturing outside the home, but in a different way. But for me, this is
Absolutely.
a dream. Like this is exactly what I've been telling people
Well,
to
this
do
is your
for the
digital
longest
space.
time.
This is what you do. So you
Yeah,
were ready for
like,
it.
talk to people, like you can reach the world. Oh my gosh,
And yeah,
So
and it's really interesting because I was too, in a sense, in working from home and working with a lot of my clients virtually. I mean, I have clients that come to my office, but a lot of my clients were already virtual. So it was like, okay, well, all of my sessions are now going to be virtual. It is what it is. Let's see. Lolita says, happy hours are important. Connect how we can. When we, especially as social beings, sitting with self is critical. However, so is finding time to connect is amazing. Absolutely. Finding time to connect is amazing. And finding that balance. And I think that's what we're talking about is before there was no balance. Before we were just out and about, teen hashtag doing too much, right? So got this meeting, this networking event, this date, going out with this friend, doing this every day. You're doing something and you don't have time to just sit and just be. And now we're getting that opposite end of the spectrum, that balance where now we're being called to just sit and just be, reflect, refocus, take that pause and create, okay, what is it that I really want for my life going forward?
Yes. Also create businesses, right? Look at
Yeah.
is it Misha?
What were you gonna say, Misha?
No, did you? Oh, no, I was going to say, I think too that though, I think there's a difference of being in close proximity to people and being in community and being
Yeah.
in relationship and being intimate. And I think that's what we're understanding. That's what's going on when you look at your China examples. Now you get the opportunity to be intimate with your partners in a different way, and you're seeing who they are. I've seen all the jokes about like listening to your partner like on their work calls and like who knew that I was married to a person that said, we're going to circle back around to that. And
right.
Like you were true intimacy. And I think,
right.
and I think there's something beautiful when I look at sort of that whole paradigm. This is about humanity, and this is an opportunity for us to be different as humanity and as human beings. Our beingness, this is the opportunity for us to check that, reflect that, and to be somebody different, and or like welcome and embrace and celebrate the beingness of who we are as great. And so my prayer, what I keep saying to everybody, and this is somewhat a shifted conversation, but I pray in that beingness that we're not only having relationships with each other, like people like you, Ava, like thank you so much, and Jessica, who I just met, but I hope that extends to the homeless people that we walk past, at least in DC, and then we don't even notice. I hope we have a new framework where we can be in relationship and be intimate and recognize their needs in a different way versus allowing them to blend into the walls. And that's what I hope, comes out of and evolves out of this moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of my prayers. And I've been saying this every week when I come here is that, look, I'm doing this series for you now, but I hope the things that you learn, the things that you process, the things that you receive, they extend after this time. Don't just use it during the quarantine and feel like, oh, well, now the quarantine is over, I can go back to normal. No. How are you creating and navigating that new normal? How can you take the lessons that you've learned from this time and incorporate it to now what you will create moving forward? And I think a big piece of that is relationships, right? So I know you ladies both have, they both got lives, y'all. I guess I'm the only one here with no life. They both got lives. They both need to leave a little bit early. So before that happens, I want to get at least one tip from you in how is it that you can improve your relationships right now and moving forward? Jessica.
So if you are married, and you're like, oh gosh, who is this person that I married now? I think just taking that time, especially Avalaura mentioned, and so many people love to remind me that I have 6 kids. When you have children, it's difficult to navigate that human being that you used to be, and then that human being that you married in the beginning, right? Before all of this. So you change, and I always tell people in the maternal health field when I do that kind of stuff, is that every mother grows with their child. but every father does for a child as well, right? And then your marriage shifts as a result of that. So you really have to get to know this person all over again and navigate kind of the waters with that person and figure out how you two can live together and coexist with all these other people constantly interjecting into everything. If I could say anything and leave you all with that thought is to just to relearn that individual and understand that they have flaws and they have things that are going on with them, but you do too, right? It's like that balance of they need to understand, but you also need to understand. And I know I'm going to speak from Black women's perspective. You know, we like some stuff like, look, you need to get together, bruh. But delicate, and we have to just understand their position. Being a Black man in America is hard if you're married to a Black man. But being a man, period, and living with a woman can be. I've learned that listening to Joe Budden's podcast because
words of wisdom from Joe Budden.
Understanding the way the men male brain works.
Listen, we can get wisdom from everywhere, okay?
A whole nother Avalaura conversation. But
okay, but here's what I want to know. How do you and your husband foster that, really relearning each other and getting to know each other again? And welcome Crystal, who's also married with kids coming in. Welcome. Thanks for chiming in.
I think the biggest piece was really me. I had to, and I feel like I'm getting a little bit on my Jada Pickett right now, which matched the red shirt, right? Red tablecloth. Is that I had to learn that my happiness didn't reside outside of me, and it wasn't his duty to give me happiness. And I think when I went into marriage young, so I had this ideal of what I thought it should look like.
Yeah.
And I thought he was supposed to like give me flowers and do all this other stuff that was going to make me happy. But then I realized that happiness was inside of me. So when I started myself and I started to, build a deeper relationship with God and just being more spiritual and just being more relaxed, really, because I was very tense and on a high alert. And I realized I was in survival mode all the time with 6 kids, right?
Yeah.
And when I realized that and I started to take that, go, wait a minute, why am I always in survival mode? What can I do? How can I calm myself? How can I because my thing was, I didn't want to take a moment. I need to hop off, but I'm getting long-winded. So I'm going to make this short. I was too busy focusing on everybody else and making sure they were okay. I wasn't checking in.
Yeah.
And so when I started to do that, that's when everything shifted. And then that's when he was like, oh, and then, I could be more open to having a relationship with him because I knew what I wanted. I didn't know what I wanted.
Yes.
So I'm telling him,
that's so important. Ladies, I hope you got that. Who are watching. Did y'all get that? Did y'all pick that up? I run into that all the time with my clients. You said a mouthful, but understanding what you want is so important, and then being able to articulate that and communicate that, because far too often what happens is we assume, well, you're supposed to know. You're a man. You're supposed to know what I need. You're supposed to know what I want. And they don't know. And how can they know if you don't know? And how can they know even if you know and you don't know how to articulate and communicate that to them? So don't assume. You can't hold them accountable for something that they don't know and that you have not taught them or told them. So that is so important. And then, of course, absolutely the self-care piece, which I actually just talked about on Wednesday. So if you all didn't tune into Wednesday's live stream, definitely check into that, where I really talked about practicing self-care during the quarantine is so important. Understanding your needs, wants, and desires, taking care of those needs so you're not looking for somebody outside of you to fulfill those needs. Right. And now they can add to it versus, give you something that you currently really can give yourself. They can simply add. And so now it sounds like now that you're meeting your needs, you could be vulnerable with him. You could be intimate with him. You could have this relationship with him.
Right now it's open. Yeah. We're closed off a bit because I was trying to fill that hole and I couldn't figure out why that hole wasn't being filled. And I was like, you need to fill it. It's your job to fill it. Like, so.
And that's a whole nother story about our relationship fantasies and, where that comes from, and watching them dang Disney movies and thinking, Prince Charming gonna ride up on a white horse and come save us, child.
No. Like the Huxtables and everybody else and Family Matters and stuff. Like, I want that. I want us to all like be happy and laugh and stuff. And yeah, no, life is not a sitcom. So
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. Misha, what about you? What is your relationship tip advice?
I mean, you hit on some of the things that that were in my spirit, but just from a different perspective. So I think the first one, I think again back to what you said, Jessica, about speaking from the perspective of a single Black woman. And I feel like, we have been told this myth that we need to be strong and independent and carry it all, whether we are married and or single. But I think as a single woman, we really carry this heaviness on us. And I think people don't offer you help because you don't ask for it. And that's what I'm learning. So when you can be vulnerable, like I literally sat and I was like, why don't people check in on me or that kind of thing? One is because I don't respond right away. So that's part of my challenge because of my busyness.
She don't.
Right. And then second, that's realization. But then secondarily, it's because I'm the strong one. So people don't expect think that you need that. So they don't offer that to you.
Yep.
Or because you're so used to being strong, you don't know how to receive it when it's offered to you.
Yep.
So I think that ability to like take off the mask, be vulnerable, and just be like, yell for help when you need it. Because during this quarantine, I ain't had no hot water. I swear I had something crawling up in my roof, like, etc. I was like, oh my gosh. But and I needed help, like desperately, whether I need to pick up the phone and dial somebody that I was paying or somebody to come over here and just help me. But that's the relationships I was looking for right now. But girl, yes, let's keep it real. Having a house is a serious thing. We know.
We've talked about that a lot.
So, and my other thing along with that though is I think to your point, agency. So one is about sort of being vulnerable. The second is about, to your point, about going within. You have the ability to create whatever life you want. I don't care if the doors are shut and we are forced to be outside, or we can run around the streets. Create the life you want. The power is in your hands. There is nobody stopping you from having the life that you dream of, but you. Put yourself in the driver's seat of your own dreams, of your own life, of your own ambitions, and create it. And if you don't know how to create it, ask somebody. And if they don't know how to help you, ask somebody else. But until you start actively activating and getting out of sort of your woe is me and sort of your whatever that's within, that's internal, and that own narrative that's going on, you're just going to sit there with that. But take it externally, say to somebody else, get somebody to help you build it, and live the life you want. Be the author of your own fairy tale.
Mm-hmm. Create your own fairy tale, because that fairy tale they got out there don't exist.
I want to thank you guys. I'm like, oh, this is such a good conversation, but I have to go.
Thank you so much for coming on, Jessica. I know Misha has to go as well. I appreciate y'all being here.
Yes, thank you so much, Misha. Girl, we can talk. Like, yes.
We can do this again, Avalaura, when we got time. We got time.
Listen, Feel Good Friday. We can absolutely do it again. Absolutely.
And I appreciate you. Go on a date or something, even if it's virtual.
So I'm gonna talk about that now, y'all. I'm gonna talk about the dating.
All right. I'll catch up later. Thank you all.
All right. Bye-bye. All right, guys. So for those of you who are left, thank you all for hanging in. Hey, Shantae, how are you? You said so true. We want to understand. We have to understand what we want. Hey, is that Mr. Turk? What's going on? So we're really talking about relationships. If anybody would like to share, I would love to hear from you all. What is your relationship status during this quarantine? How are you all doing? Are you married? Are you single? Are you dating? You got a quarantine boo. How is that going? Do you see your relationships improving? Do you see them getting worse? Do you see where the gaps are now in your relationships because you're in close quarters all the time? Thank you, Shantae. Yes, create your own fairy tales. Thank you. We appreciate you as well. Oh, yes, virtual dating is a thing. So if you're just hopping on, share with us, who are you? Where are you calling in from? What's your relationship status? I'm amazing. Thank you. I'm doing really, really well. So if you just missed it, I had two of my amazing friends on. Like, my friends are so dope. Misha, who's also single as well in DC, no children. And then Jessica, who is in California, she's married with 6 children. And so they were really giving their perspective. So if you're just hopping on, hey, replay viewers, hashtag replay. definitely go ahead and watch from the beginning so you can kind of get a feel for all of our perspectives. So where Misha is like really busy, not really dating, wanting to date, but always too busy, and we're always talking about that. And I'm always advising her, and that's the life coach and counselor in me. I do that with my friends as well. So always helping her out in that. I am actively dating, right? And so it's been really interesting being single, right? Quarantined by myself, which, I actually don't have a problem with. It's actually really cool. I don't know if I could stand somebody being around me 24/7 anyway. So I'm loving this. Single, and what's car from my car? What? Really? Oh, in Philly, single. Got you. And so that actually is fine. For me, the issue became not having an active social life and not being able to date in the way that I've been dating, meaning, going out, going to movies, going to concerts, going to festivals, going out to eat, doing all of these things. So that was a challenge. And how do you now navigate this new normal? If you're actively dating, how do you do that in the quarantine world right now, right? And so that's what I've been experimenting with, and that's what I have been actively doing. Shantae is, yes, from Connecticut, from my home state, single, 2 kids, adult and teenager. Shantae, are you dating? Are you dating? And if so, how's that working out? So that's been really, really interesting in the world of, okay, you can't really see each other right now. You can't really touch. So when this first started and everything was closing, one of the things that I did, okay, well, let's go to the park, right? Because that's one of the places that we can still do. We can meet up at the park. We can go, we can't sit down and eat at a restaurant, but we can go get takeout. We can go to the park. It's forced us to be more creative right now. I actually recently had a conversation with a new guy that I met online, and we talked for like 2.5 hours, right? Where, before I probably would not have been on the phone that long, but we actually talked for 2.5 hours, and I certainly got him in the way. I got to know him in the way that I probably would not have gotten to know him before this quarantine. And one of the things we have been doing, like Misha and I talked about, like we did like a virtual singles happy hour, which was really cool. Again, getting to know people in a different way, really being able to connect. No, I haven't dated in years. Why not? You still young. Why aren't you dating? And so one of the things also that I talked to someone about is this concept of Netflix and chilling in a different way, right? So actually going online, using one of these online platforms, whether it's Go Meeting or Zoom or something like that, watching Netflix together and actually commenting and talking about it, just like so you're doing that virtually. And so a lot of people are starting to do that as virtual dates as well. So there is still a way. And of course, you got FaceTime and you got WhatsApp and you got all these things where you can still, talk to each other. But a lot of people are now navigating the waters of virtual dating. Which, I hope doesn't necessarily become the new normal. But really, the point is to really be creative, to think outside the box, use this time effectively for yourself. And find ways to navigate that. So those are some of the ways that I've been doing it. I would love to hear your ways. Again, if you come in during the replay and you watch this, feel free to share because I will definitely be monitoring the chat as well. And that's a whole interesting topic right there. You're not sure why you've been dating because you haven't been approached. Ladies, haven't been approached. Why aren't you approaching? Online dating, perhaps? There's so many ways. I don't wait for men to approach me. I mean, I do get approached, but I don't wait for men to approach me. I don't have a problem approaching, hence online dating. Sometimes, we have to be very intentional. Again, we talked about that, creating the life that you want, and you got to be really intentional about that and go after that. And so I'm not going to sit on the sidelines if I want to date, if I want to cultivate relationships, if I want to get remarried. I'm not going to sit on the sidelines and wait for somebody to come and talk to me. I am going to go after what I want and be very intentional about that. That's a whole nother topic, Oh, great. Virtual dating ideas. Yes, absolutely. We need virtual dating ideas because we don't know how long we're stuck in the house with each other. I still say if you get comfortable enough with somebody, you can go to the park, you can social distance, whatever, just so you can lay. Like, I like to lay eyes on people. Fortunately, I had some really good friends that I cultivated relationships with before this happened. And so I was comfortable allowing them to come to my home, especially last week. I was feeling a little sick. And, one of my friends came over and brought me some stuff for my cold. And I really appreciated that. And I was grateful that I had that relationship, because I was not going out. Like, I was not going out anywhere. And I was really grateful for that. So there is navigating that new normal, and again, creating that intimacy in ways that we have not before, letting people in, because before it would take a while before I'm gonna let somebody in and come to my house, like a while. But because of this situation, I was like, you know what, I've met him, he's cool, I trust him, yeah, that's fine. So really being creative in that. I've never done online dating, double dates, or have seen anyone that I was interested in. Yeah, you gotta go online. That's the issue. You got to go online, and there's a whole strategy for that. Misha actually wanted me to teach an online dating class, and we were scheduled to do it before all of this happened, and I just got so busy it did not get done. But yeah, you got to date online. Online is where it is right now. If you're not meeting people in your vicinity, if you're not actively going out, whether it's networking or going to happy hours or meeting people in other social settings, you gotta go online. That is where the majority of people are now cultivating their relationships. And there are tips and techniques and strategies for that, for sure, for successful online dating. I meet probably most of the dates online. I meet, again, I work from home, so I meet very few people out and about. It's really been online. So gotta go, but watch the replay. Peace and blessings, Queen. Peace to you as well. Thank you for watching. And yeah, I'm definitely about it's about my time. But I thank you all for watching. I thank you all for contributing. Again, if you have questions, comments, love to hear from you. How are your relationships during this quarantine? If you need relationship tips and advice, assistance, that is what I do. Contact me, DM me. In addition to being a life coach, I am a counselor. I'm a relationship counselor. I work with couples. I work with people who are trying to navigate the waters of dating again, of being in relationships again, and preparing yourself for relationships. Because if you're not in a relationship right now and you're not actively dating, this is really a good time to delve deep and really prepare yourself for that. This is a great time to do that. So look at yourself. Who am I? Why am I here? What is it that I want? What is important to me in relationships? What is my value system? What do I bring to the table? What do I want my significant other to bring to the table? What kind of relationship do I want to create? Right? So this is a really good time to really think about those things and to actively and very intentionally work on those things. So I am certainly here to help. I thank you all for being here for this edition of Quarantine Healing. Again, you can also get my self-care bundle at bit.ly/, bundle 44. It's $44, 5 of my favorite products. My meditation and workbook, which is $40 in and of itself. So you're basically getting everything else for free. My power journal, which is a 31-day journal with exercises and daily audio from me, 2 of my ebooks, and my head repping class. So you can learn how to wrap your head like a pro. Hey, Tanya, it's good to see you. Good to see you. Thanks for chiming in. Hey, Makeda. Okay, I need to talk to you because you need to be a part of the Reiki Mastermind that's coming up. So, woo child, my relationship life is crazy right now. Yeah, that's why I'm doing this, because a lot of people really are struggling with that. Like, we might have already been struggling, and what's happening is this moment of stillness, of force to kind of sit down and surrender to what is just bringing to light what was already there. That's all it's doing, is bringing to light what was already there and what already needs to be worked on. Now the blessing is you actually have time to do it and work on it. That is the beautiful thing right now. But again, it is about being very intentional. Very intentional. And like Misha said, first of all, you can't do it alone. So I'm not even going to tell you to try to do it alone, because you can't. get help, whether it is help from friends and family or whether it's professional help from somebody like me. But get help, because this is the perfect ideal time to do it, when we have to sit in this stillness and pause and reflect and really refocus and look at our lives. So I leave you with that. Yes, thank you all for chiming in. Again, I will continue to monitor the chat. So if you come in after #replay, feel free to talk to me. I will be monitoring the chat and responding as well. Yes, we all need this stillness. We all need this stillness. Some of us are fighting it though, and some of us didn't realize we need it. And some of us are not really fully using it to our advantage. And so I'm here to really help you to use it to your advantage. So again, if you missed this week's quarantine healing, on Monday was Monday meditation, so you can go back and watch that. You can watch it on my personal page, on my business page, Avalaura's Healing Center, and also on my YouTube page as well. Everything is under my name, Avalaura. I am not hard to find. I am Googleicious, so you can find that there as well. And then Wednesday, I gave you my self-care routine and also gave you some self-care tips. So every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I am coming to you to help you during this quarantine time, right? And helping you to really navigate these waters and creating this new normal and using this time to your advantage to create the life that you really want to live and did not know how. So check me out. I will be back on Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern for Monday meditation. So I will be back then. You got questions, comments, feel free to DM me. You can also email me at avalaura@avalaura.com. And again, you can get my self-care bundle. It is still on sale right now for only $44. Why $44? Because I just had my 44th birthday during this quarantine experience. So I am offering 5 of my favorite products for you. You're basically paying for one, getting the rest for free. So you can check that out at bit.ly/birthday. I'm sorry, bundle 44. The link is actually in the chat, so you can just go right to the link. And I will see you all on Monday. I will be back at 12 p.m. Eastern for Monday meditation. So get ready to meditate. Enjoy your weekend. I will talk to you soon. Until then, wishing you peace, love, and bountiful blessings. Create an amazing day.